Welcome back, my lovely beans. We are here today with, am I allowed to say that? Spider Mommy? We got Spider Mommy, and she looks gorgeous. I like her. She's fun. She's interesting. She has the leap of faith. It's actually not the direct leap of faith, but it's close enough, let's be honest. I have a lot of fun testing around with her. I hope you like her, and we are diving deep into her. Yeah, that sounded wrong, let's be honest. You get the gist, you get it, you know. But have fun and keep watching. Oraxia's first ability is called Mercy Skills. You're becoming invulnerable while attacking an enemy and you inflict toxic damage. If the enemy's health is below 50%, you will mercy kill this enemy. When mercy killing an enemy, you have a chance to drop an health orb and an energy orb. Drop chance is based off your strength. If your drop chance is above 100%, you have the chance to drop a second orb. When in Silken Stride, using the melee button, cast Mercy's Kiss. Webbed Embrace. You are throwing an egg that breaks on impact, expanding and web covering the ground. Enemies inside the web taking toxin damage and are slowed. If they're staying for too long, they are getting cocooned. If they are in the area of the direct hit, they are getting directly cocooned. Cocooned enemies are more vulnerable to damage, so damage vulnerability. A maximum of 3 webs can be casted. It is Oraxia's Subsume while the range is reduced. Widow's Brood. Oraxia is hurling little spikes in front of her, attacking enemies and applying toxic damage to enemies. Enemies killed by you or your allies affected by the spikes, spawning spiders. You can have a maximum of 10 spiders, and they are staying on your field depending on your duration and continuously attacking. The spiders are affected by Summoner's Wrath, Archon Shards, and Theorem Infection. Oraxia's last ability is Silken Stride. You're going into your spider form, which is a channeled ability, and slowly draining your energy. Which means you can't use Energy Nexus, Energy Siphon, Dreamer's Bond, Arcane Stretch, or Wellspring from Zenoric. You are becoming immune to status effects and knockdown resistant. You're increasing your health multiplicative based off your strength, and inflict your ranged weapon with Toxin. That is the main reason why Incarnates don't really benefit here. You don't get the Toxin bonus and the damage multiplier. You are able to infinite wall edge, but want to re-enter wall edging every 8 seconds to refresh your passive, which will grant you invisibility. When you press your roll button, you're dashing towards the next wall, or you leap towards the next wall. For builds, we are trying a little bit of something new this time. First things first, it is a mixture out of everyday comfort and a little bit of we are taking everything together. First things first, we're taking advantage of Summoner, Wrath, and Kamisado, which will enhance the strength of our little spiders, which will help us passively clear all of our enemies. And then something that you all might have not seen every day, we are using Proton Pulse. What is Proton Pulse doing? It is in total 3 mods. You have 1 for your frame, 1 for your rifle, and 1 for your melee. In this case, we don't use the one on our rifle. If you find a rifle you like to use and you want to stick that on there for the extra crit and status chance, absolutely fine. Do you? I was just like not feeling like using one of the rifles, but you know, if you want to do that. In total, every of these Proton mods are giving you in total, you know, amount of damage reduction while wall edging, which, you know, you obviously want to do, and bullet jumping. For example, on the frame, you gain extra bullet jump, which makes you, by the way, also help when you don't have enough range to actually leap to the next wall. You already can pass a big, you know, distance with extra the bullet jump speed and then wall edge, which is great. In total for this build, you have adaptation for the damage reduction, health conversion for the armor, because Oraxia doesn't have the biggest base armor, so that will help. Arcane continuity, we already have a lot of toxin on Oraxia. Some of these toxin now goes to corrosive, which simply means less armor. Time flow for energy. Definitely, since we do have a channeled ability on her 4, we do need to think about what are we actually doing with our, you know, energy economy, hence why we're also using Equilibrium. Precision Intensify to make our 4 stronger. Transit Fortitude, I definitely would not suggest running Blind Rage for comfort. If you want to have that extra strength, you should be fine as long as you like have enough high KPM, right? Usually, if your high KPM is high enough, you drop enough energy orbs, you're good to go. Especially if you're using Synth Deconstruct together with Seismic Bond. Seismic Bond is a pet mod. It will help you whenever you have a channeled ability. It hires your efficiency, makes it a little bit more comfortable, helps you a little bit, and stretch for your range. Keep in mind it is a channeled ability, so Arcane Stretch is not working here. For our Arcanes, like I said, we're running Arcane Kamisato. For attacks from summoned minions, increase ability strength up to 60% from the next ability cast. Minions gain 20% movement speed. Keep in mind that you actually have to recast your 4 when you have your spiders out, and Arcane Blessing for your base health. For Subsume, we have to learn first things first, one thing, and that is Silken Stride counts as a strengthened ability. What does it mean? Abilities like Roar and Eclipse and Zardas do not work. Or they do work, but you would have to subsume over Silken Stride. So if you want to use Roar, if you want to use Eclipse or Zada or any of the similar abilities, you would actually have to subsume over the 4. Right? So these are not usable. So we have to use anything else. I decided to go for Nourish simply because you have Viral in your setup and you do have a better energy economy because you get an energy multiplier. If you want to use Infested Mobility to see if you can get more, movement speed out of it, absolutely fine. If you want to use Shock for Shock Trooper and want to make it fit you to have, besides Toxin, also like, Electric in here, go for it. Test around what feels funny to you. I just went for the classic Nourish. 4 shards. A little bit of investment. I will not say no. I went for 4 Toxin shards and 1 Tau Corrosive shard. Simply to have more high damage, more boom. Other option would be you give her more armor, blue for more armor. You give her red for more strength. You give her red for more duration. Because higher strength, higher duration, especially higher duration means less drainage. Higher strength means higher health. A pretty similar build to the build beforehand, just like we talked about, less to the summoner build, more to the high HP, more strength build would be this. We're going for growing power, still Kamisato because we're taking advantage of our 3. If you don't want to run Kamisato, you would run Mold Argumented here. Arcane Blessings is simply because of the multiplicative of our health here. We're running Adaptation for the damage reduction, Blind Rage in this case for the high strength. Arcane Continuity simply because she benefits from it. If you want to save your capacity, it is totally fine to run Continuity here simply normal because you will save a little bit of capacity. Health Conversion for the armor, Precision Intensify. Why Precision Intensify? Yes, technically the other abilities, especially 2 benefits from strength because of the damage vulnerability. The 3, the damage itself only benefits from the direct impact hit. The Scuttlers don't because you can't impact the max amount of Scuttlers, and the Scuttlers on the field are only based off duration, so that's the thing. So Precision Intensify is simply a bit more beneficial for you. Flow again, same with Equilibrium, and we're running this time Energy Conversion to Snapshot our 4. If you have capacity and you're fine with, Format and oraxia 1 more, you can run something like Mobilize in here or whatever you feel like. Keep in mind you are technically knockdown resistant, so you don't need Sure-Footed for once, especially if you're staying in the 4 most of your time. If you still feel like you want to have Sure-Footed for whenever you're outside of the 4, that is absolutely fine. Don't let you say otherwise. You can play the game like you want. 4 shards for this build. It is technically the same shard-wise as the build before. You can run full green shards, so 4 Toxin shards, 1 Corrosive shard, or you can go once again the blue shards, the red shards. I do have to say it's exactly like the build before. In this case here we do have a Void Cascade build. She is good at Void Cascade simply because of the invisibility you're getting. Invisibility usually means you're quite safe. Her movement for some tile sets are not the most comfortable one because going through of the hallways out the doors can be a little bit uncomfortable. It definitely needs to get used to. I do have to say I have not fully tested it myself. I had someone else run it and took feedback from that run because I was with them in that run. I was playing someone else because I tested Citrine. What are we running? We are running Briefest Bite simply for the shield recharge. We're running Rolling Guard for the Upsis, Catalyzing Shield for the 1.33 shield gating duration and the recharge, Arcane Continuity for the corrosive effect, Brine Flow, Stretch, Equilibrium, Agar Reach. Agar Reach is technically a little bit your swap slot if you wanted to, but I would say for certain tile sets, especially when I think about Serenity Park and Outbreak Part or Docking Bay, you definitely want to have a lot of range. So with one jump and then the leap, you're actually able to go from one side of the other, because you do need to, or you want to keep your invisibility up as much as possible, and then Precision Intensify to make sure that your 4 is as strong as possible, because you do want to benefit as much as possible from the extra damage on your weapon. Mold Argument for extra strength and Arachne for the damage boost on your and Arcane Arachne for the damage boost on your weapon. Oraxia is really not a frame that is beginner friendly. You need to have 90-99 done, and then you need to have the reread done to be able to even farm her. But I am aware that some people, you know, buy her. So if you decided to buy her and you want to apply her early on, or, you know, if you simply want to like test her out and you don't want to like, you know, put too much effort into her, but simply run around her with like, you know, a 1 reactor build, but like no formers, this build would be for you. We have Dreamer's Bond. Keep in mind, Dreamer's Bond doesn't work when you're in her 4. It is simply how the polarity works for this build, right? We have Steel Fiber for the armor, simply to make her a little bit more tanky, because higher armor means less damage taken directly. Equilibrium for the energy economy. Continuity for the duration, especially for the 3. Vitality for the base health, because it's multiplicative. Flow for the energy economy. Streamline for efficiency, because higher efficiency means less drainage. Intensify for the strength, and Stretch for the range. Keep in mind with mercy kills, you do, when you are able to like mercy kill enemies, you do have a chance to kill or to gain health orbs and energy orbs. Health orbs, we have a 260% drop chance. That means we gain a minimum of 2 health orbs, which will trigger equilibrium. So our energy economy should be actually quite fine with this build. This build is a zero format build, so you're actually you're actually fine to start. If you don't want to use Dreamer's Bond, she's starting with a V-polarity in the aura slot, so you can test it out what you want. For example, Growing Power. I know that Growing Power is like farming. You can... if you don't want to use Dreamer's Bond because it's actually not triggered, you can... She's starting with a V-polarity, so choose any V-polarity aura. That is also absolutely fine. Just keep in mind when you're in her 4, you can't use melee, so Steel Shards would not be like the best one. Maybe going for Camaraderies to get like a little bit extra crit chance if you have it, because we all need to have 90-99 done if you farm her. If you're wondering why I didn't suggest once to have Parker Velocity as an Archon Shard on her, it is simply while in the 4 and you can't actively use a melee, it still counts as you have a melee actively with you. So I would highly suggest to use Praetos. It still takes the benefits of Praetos. So you still have, you know, the Proton mod on, and you still get the Incarnate benefits from Praetos. That's why I would say put Praetos onto her. You can't use it in her 4, so it doesn't matter which melee you have on her, except if you absolutely, which would be fine, play her as a melee-based frame and you're subsuming over the 4. You know, go for it. Just saying. Praetos it is. For weapons, let's go once back to the topic why I would not suggest Incarnates. Pretty simple. When you are in your 4, you enhance your weapon with Toxic. Incarnates don't benefit from the toxin damage, hence you don't benefit from the damage multiplier with this toxin damage. Hence you don't get, when, for example, you have enough strength, you're wall edging, you don't benefit from the 200% wall edging damage multiplier. That's why I would not suggest using Incarnates. You definitely can use it if you just want to, like, you know, wall edge, get the invisibility, use Spectral Serration, and use it like that. Totally fine. Nothing against it. If you actually want to benefit from the toxin while wall edging, get the damage multiplier. Obvious suggestion are secondaries Archicore, primary are Hemer, where, by the way, also would, you know, would work the Proton mod on, or the Sobek would work, the Aeolog would work. Test around what you like. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a lot of fun. Tell me what you think about Oraxia. Tell me what you think about the fashion. And I hope to see a lot of fashion today. Because if you don't know, I'm streaming Saturday to Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central European Time over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/RunaBloodRuna. I hope to see you there. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much and see you. Bye-bye.